Hello and good morning, Scary Champions, Psychic Medium, with just some general thoughts. Someone's saying we're going to be a one party system for a while. I believe that's true. I don't know how long, but at least a couple of years. Everybody's stabbing at each other, but one party's become ineffective through their own stupidity. People toward the center of that party are trying to guide it more to the center where it can be relevant. Right now it's not. Idiots like openly declaring racism's a good thing and white supremacy and how many sexes do you think there are? Is sex important? How many sexes there are? I mean, it takes two to make a baby, but sex is very complex. When I was a kid, we used to think, oh, there's guys and there's girls. Was never that simple, but we believed it. We bought it. All the while, we had people with feelings underneath that they couldn't express. World's become more open. People are choosing to define themselves the way that they feel comfortable. I'm good with that. If you're a whatever, I don't need to know. I mean, I can read you and I can tell you, I want to make you feel comfortable about this, but there's no difference in the inside of one person or another. A trans person feels just like a lesbian or a gay person or a straight person or a male or a female. The energy that comes out of you is what's important. Positive energy always feels like positive energy. A good spirit, a good happy spirit always feels good and happy to me. I read what's inside someone. I can't let all that other crap keep me from helping somebody that calls. Anyway, if you live long, like I've been lucky to, I made some good choices early on, which is the key to good living. And I have a marvelous wife who cooks food that keeps me healthy. I don't think I should. This is interesting stuff. Hello, this is Gary. Nothing. While that's happened, I'll tell you what's going on. Companies that call you, that robo-dial you, their systems require a certain amount of blah, blah, blah to click on. And if I say, hello, this is Gary, their machine hasn't had time to pick up the audio to click on to get somebody on the line. And sometimes I play tricks with them. So if you just say, if you want to avoid robocallers, if you just say your name really quickly, they don't respond. It's just blank. Sometimes I actively say something to get them to come on the line where I can chew up their time where they can't sell some product someplace. Anyway. Back to the story. I'm an old guy. I've lived a long time. I've learned a few things. And if you've lived a long time, you have periods where you just feel like you're boring the crap out of yourself. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm boring myself by repetitiveness. And then I realized yesterday that I'm not boring myself to death. I'm in a hiatus. I'm in a place of stopping to assess what's going on in order to move forward. And we all get them. It's just that I tend to act on them. Right now I'm just allowing to happen whatever comes in I try not to set a big agenda. I get up in the morning, and whatever occurs to me is I'm learning, in other words. And I guess I can give you an example. Real interesting stuff. In the ongoing education of Gary Champion, Psychic Medium, I've been doing some healing work. I had it on my website for a while. I was kind of uncomfortable with it because I hadn't tweaked the process to something that I was willing to live with. It was good, but it wasn't good enough. And I had a session with a guy the other night. I think it was night. No, it was morning, early morning. And these things are done from a deep meditative state. Altered state, really, which is not, it's a deep meditative state, but it's altered. It's like you're not in your body, or you're not aware of anything. And he had gotten a session where half of it was a reading session and half of it was a healing session. It's not on my website, which, by the way, is changing. It's a new website coming out in a few days with, new format and everything. And that's part of the change, which I didn't realize. I'm in the middle of it, and I didn't even see it myself. If I had been standing over there, I could have seen it. Anyway, I fell into doing something that in the healing session that I had not done before. And I didn't say what was happening because I wasn't aware that I was doing it. I was in a deep meditative state. And I fell into a hypnosis healing session where I was able to guide this person to a place where they were in a deep meditative state, where healing energy was in a guided sort of way. Trance mediums don't, and that's what this is. I didn't know that's what it was. Trance mediums usually don't talk during a session. It's usually quiet. I felt I was babbling like a crazy person. And it was pretty magical, pretty excited by it. And I came away with a new understanding of the evolution of Gary Champion. Maybe I've always been evolving, and there are certain places in my life where I remember clearly nothing's going to ever be the same. When I was 6, my grandmother died. That was my seminal moment. And the next day I was a medium. Hard to forget that one. But this one is similar in that at this late age, I'm still evolving. And at a resting place of hiatus of doing nothing, all of a sudden these several things sprung out. I need a new website. It needed to look different. It needs to have be more expansive, and I need to offer trance mediumship. Even though I've been doing it without it being on my website. Somebody occasionally call for healing, and I'll offer that. Well, trance mediumship, I didn't know what it was. Turns out that's what I was doing. I was in a trance. This person followed me down the road that I went, and the results were miraculous, pretty neat. And we talked about it afterward, about how transforming it was. So I thought, okay, well, this is a new thing for however long I'm here, I guess. But move into electrical energy and move along my path, which is never ending, by the way. Your path of whoever you are is. Anyway, if you feel like you're boring yourself to death, maybe it's not that you're just tired of living, or tired of what you're doing, or tired of living the way you're living. Maybe it's a moment of, maybe it's a seminal moment. Maybe it's an epiphany. Maybe it's a bright new sunshiny day that you've not seen before, if you're observant. And as a medium, things happen to me all the time, and I'm not anticipating anything. I have no agenda. I have no agenda at all. And all of a sudden, I'm doing a trance healing I'd never done before. That all of my experiences culminated into one thing. That I had not been a healer before. Apparently, I was. You guys proved that. And as a young child, I learned hypnosis. I didn't learn it for any particular reason, just like anything else. And that popped in, and the healing energy thing popped in. My guides were there, and it went down a road that was very, very interesting. So, life should not be boring. I'm afraid if someone said the other day, I thought this was pretty good. One of you on the YouTube channel said, if you do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, you're not going to get any. You do the same thing the same way over and over again, it doesn't change. The results are the same. So maybe instead of doing what you're doing in whatever way you're doing it, maybe you just need a new way of doing it. And that's what I've discovered, that I've given readings since I was a child, and many people didn't know I was doing, but that's what I was doing. And I've been a professional psychic medium for a long time, and definitely am not bored with that. But I have a wonderful life, but I'm sort of at a hiatus. I was boring myself, not other people boring me, but I felt like I was boring myself. The truth is that something new was staring me in the face, and it occurred in a moment with a client. And they've got this new website coming out in a few days, and I've got this trance healing thing that I'm going to put on there. I have a lot of interesting ideas. Because in a moment of boredom, I thought, it was actually just shifting gears. You have to pause. If you're an old stick shift guy like I am, most of my cars were stick shifts until a certain age. Just a few years ago, actually. When you shift gears, there's a pause. You got the first gear, clutch, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. It's a pause where an automatic transmission does that for you. You don't have to think. You press the pedal down, it shifts gears, you go down the road. You don't think about it. Whereas a manual transmission, you have to have so many RPMs to shift. Otherwise, you stall the engine and you don't go anywhere. This is that. It's an analogy. In between gears, something happened. There was a hiatus. There was a slowing. There was a stoppage. There was a moment of reflection and openness to new things. That's important. Most people are closed off. They think they know everything. The truth is, we don't know anything. Like the subject of sex. You think you know something about it, and pretty soon you don't. Or climate change. You think you know something, pretty soon you don't. Islands in the sea. Well, a lot of things are going underwater. Well, they've shifted gears. They're starting to talk about something else. Land masses will begin to go underwater. People who own homes on beaches will not be able to afford the amount of money it will take to build dams, cofferdams, to keep their houses from flooding. And even if they did, the rising tide and the splashing of the waves and the sand goes away, it's erosion, People don't believe it. Certain people don't believe it. They don't think climate change, because it inconveniences them. We're going to have to actually think about it, and we're going to have to put money toward it to do something about it. We're going to have to stop polluting the atmosphere, which creates it. They don't want to do that. It's a big time. We're making money. We're spewing greenhouse gases into the air. What do we care? Well, at some point, those people that own homes on beaches and people who live on islands are going to. Why weren't we listening? That's going to be their question. Of course, most of us don't live there, so we won't be concerned with it. It's perspective. Being open to change and trying to understand it when it comes at you is the key to whatever the future is. Your future as a human being, as a sentient being. Where are you going with this? What is your life going to evolve into? At the moment of shifting gears, there's a hiatus. That's when change happens. Don't let it be automatic. Don't let, oh, okay, now my teeth are falling out. Don't let it be automatic. Engage in the process between shifting gears, figure out what's going on. That's all this video is about. Be observant. Love each other. I wish you all the best. Gee, it sounds like a eulogy, doesn't it? No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.